Hi there. This is a genre video, and it's not a genre video like I normally do, where I show everything in that particular genre or label or whatever. It's because I have way too many records in this particular genre, and not everything is interesting enough to show. I'm talking about Neue Deutsche Welle, the German new wave. That is the translation as well of the genre that came out in the late 70s and continued to the late 80s, and maybe even continues now. It's really impossible to hear a lot of the music from Germany on Dutch radio right now. But in the time, in the early 80s, a lot of German music just got played on the airwaves in Holland. So I'm going to show a bunch of records. Hopefully I'm going to interest you in some. I'll try. Don't expect it to be happening, but I'll try to make a playlist, or otherwise I'm just going to link the songs down there and see if you guys like it. It's a little nicer to talk about it. It's nice to let you hear it than to talk about it, but it's impossible to play something from every album. I'm going to start off with a compilation. This is not the best compilation, but this is basically me telling you, if you ever see compilations where the word Neue Deutsche Welle is mentioned, get it, especially if they're from the early 80s. This is a particular one called Die Neue Deutsche Welle is Da Da Da. The Da 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 thing is obviously a reference to Trio, which were a huge new wave band from Germany. It's on the Vertigo label, and it's like a plastic little sleeve with an inner sleeve inside. I'm not going to take it out, this is really hard to put back. But it's got this side Trio, it's got Yellow on it, and a lot of unknown bands. And that fact, if you see unknown bands on a compilation and it says Neue Welle, get it. Because chances are you will hear something that will amaze you. So this is basically me just showing one compilation. I have several, but this is one that if you ever see something that says Neue Welle and it's a compilation, get it. Because you'll regret not doing so. I haven't listened to a lot of these records in a long time, like this one, Tanzstile, Folgt dem Führer, Follow the Leader. But this is another example of, if you like the cover art and you look at the back and it says like synth or sequencers or just weird instrumentation, you should get it, because most of the time they kind of fool around with it and try and experiment by making music that's just original, and this band does that. It's on a label called GBD. I never ever heard of this label before. I never saw anything after I bought this record. But yeah, this is from 1981. I think they did a couple of EPs or 7 inches after this album, but I'm not too familiar with this band otherwise than this record, which I really, really like. Germany had a lot of stuff, but the German-speaking countries surrounding them also had great bands. This is from Austria, and this is called Rosachrome. This is a mini album, 6 songs on it, and it's like a post-punk electronic kind of sounding band. The title is Außerhalb dem Kreis, or Außerhalb des Kreises, or Outside the Circle, translated. And it's really nice. It's on another label that I've never heard of, Shelter Records. But it's picking up stuff like that from unknown labels. That's worth it, because most of the time they knew how to market their bands, and I like the artwork. Then I'm not going to mention bands like Mena or Alphaville or Modern Talking. Ooh, not that one. But the plain pop stuff, they had some price albums as well. This is Rheingold, self-titled album from, I I think 1981. Could be mistaken. Let's find out. No, 1980. And I like the artwork. It reminds me of a krautrock cover, but it's not. It's a very dreamy kind of pop sound. They had a huge hit with Dreiklangs-Dimensionen, or the three tones dimension, which is amazing. And yeah, this is just one guy. If I look at the sleeve, one guy doing all the instrumentation, and it's a really good dream pop kind of stuff. I like it. More, pop music that just is amazing. It's Peter Schilling, Fehler im System, Trouble in the System, or something like that. I don't. He had a huge hit. I think even in America with Major Tom. And it's just, there's so much more on this album that's really good. If you love synth pop, if you love just great pop tunes in general, you should get it. That's if you love 80s pop, of course. It's heavy on electronica, and it's just great melodies, great lyrics if you understand it. For the English-speaking, this one doesn't, but most of the time German bands had the English translation next to their German lyrics, so you can understand what the hell they were trying to tell you. This one hasn't, but it's really good. This is Palais Chambour, a self-titled album. It is produced by David Cunningham of the Flying Lizards, but it doesn't sound anything like the Flying Lizards. It kind of sounds like a certain ratio, but more complex, more, just experimental, if you will. They had an amazing track on here called Wir bauen eine neue Stadt, we're building a new city, and that's basically what a lot of these bands were doing. They were taking the old pop sounds, or the old rock sounds, and rebuilding them into this new and amazing sound. This is very funky, very like a certain ratio, but it's a little more intricate, more different. Then Malaria, another awesome band. They had a hit with Kaltes Klares Wasser, Cold Clear Water, which I think Chicks on Speed did a cover of, a really good cover, by the way. It's not on this particular album, on Emotion, but damn it, this is just beautiful post-punky kind of pop. Yeah, if you like that kind of stuff, if you love post-punk, if you love, just new wave music, you should definitely check it out. I know for a fact that New Wave Girl will love it. I think Jeff will love it. Derek will definitely love it. Check them out, if you will. And again, I'll try to link down some videos. This is Die Krups with, I think it's their first record, but I'm not too sure. It's called Stahlwerk Symphony. And as you can see, there's power tools here, so it's a symphony made out of power tools. Very much like Einstürzende Neubauten, which I forgot to pick here. Oh god. Yeah, wait 1 minute. Yeah. So I'm going to do those later. It's very much like Einstürzende Neubauten, but the power tools that they use, they're not so much in your face. The great thing is, this album kind of shows you that these were the children of krautrock. It's produced in the Inner Space studio, which was the studio owned by Ken. It's mixed by Connie Plank, who is a main figure in the whole krautrock scene. They're giving thanks to Holger Sakai, and it sounds like a krautrock album, but a little more modern because it is a new age, a new decade, and it's really beautiful music. And how can I not show Einstürzende Neubauten? How could I forget picking these guys? This is their debut, Collapse. It's on the Zigzag label. I don't have much by that label, but I would really love to have more. This is a band I think most of you guys know or heard about. A noisy, experimental band that sort of were front runners of the whole industrial scene, if not, I mean, they didn't go into that scene themselves, but I definitely know that the use of heavy sounds, heavy metal sounds, like hitting hammers on metal, instrumentation here, there's a drill, there's like hammers and stuff and pieces of iron. They had an industrial sound, but they weren't industrial, they were really, really good. They are still good. Great band, and how could I have forgotten them? This is the other album I have by them, Halber Mensch. This is a scary album, but it's really, really good. These guys were picked up by Mute Records, and rightfully so, because they were, you know, just, they had so much noise, so much sound, but within that noise, within that sound, they had some of the most beautiful and moving songs. Just great music, and if you don't know these guys, check them out. This is Ideal, a self-titled debut album. It's 45 RPMs, and it's on the Innovative Communication label, which is the label by Klaus Schulze. This is more the punky variety of German new wave. These guys came from Berlin. You hear a lot of the angst that West Berliners had, and probably East Berliners as well, because of the wall, the separation between East and West Germany at the time. You hear it back. You hear it back in a lot of songs from Germany in the period. That basically is also its strength, the anxiety, the paranoia that they had. It came back in the music, and this is a good punky example of that. The best album in this genre is this album, Grauzone. This is a band from Switzerland. This is their only album. It's released in 1981, and if you want to hear just so many diverse sounds within the whole German new wave, check this one out. It starts off with a song called Film 2, which basically is proto-techno. This techno music before techno music was invented, before even Kraftwerk were dabbling in little techno sounds. It's got just plain punk songs on it. It's got experimental post-punk on it. It's got new wave on it. It's got beautiful songs on it. It's everywhere. This is definitely the greatest German new wave album that I have. This is not an album that I want to show, but I don't have any other by this band. This is a really good band, by the way, Foyer des Arts, and it's Ein Kuss in der Irrtumstaverne, and translating that would mean me sitting here like for half an hour going like, okay, Kuss in, I understand, but Irrtumstaverne, I don't get it. It's a kiss in some kind of tavern. Translating the Irrtum part is difficult. These guys are pretty experimental. This album isn't so, but lyrically they're just really funny, really, you know, just going on the edge. They have a song called Penis, Arrow, Vagina. Literally, did you see an arrow? That's a naughty song, obviously. But musically, this is really interesting. Lyrically, not so, because it's a lot of, you know, like bad humor and stuff like that, but the music is really good. I really hope to find their early stuff on album, but that's really hard. Another label that you should check out, besides Zigzag, it's Atatak. It says it here. Atatak is a very cool label that only did, you know, just outsider music, kind of. This is probably the band that had the biggest hit on that label, and that hit is Threat from Jupiter. That's an amazing, catchy, uplifting pop song. It's still weird at times, but it's the most uplifting thing this label has ever done. The band is called Die Doras und die Marinas, and the album is called Blumen und Narcisse, flowers and narcissus. It's just about flowers, and I don't know much about it otherwise. I have another album by them, but this is their best. If you want to get into just a little, you know, crazy kind of happy new wave music, you should check this out. Probably the best record these guys made, and the least known record. This is Deutsche Amerikanische Freundschaft. They had a huge hit with the Mussolini, and they had several other, you know, great synth-based pop songs or new wave songs. But this is when they were still, you know, not electronic and just sounding like Can or Neu or Faust, but more post-punk. Really, really good. They weren't a two-piece back then. They were like a full-on band. I think I have a reissue. The original is on Atatak, but I have one on Warning Records. Yeah, this is a record you should get. Definitely should get. Another case of just poppy stuff. This is The Days, Hetz aus Stahl. I bought it based on the sleeve. I just love the sleeve. This is a band, like so many bands in Germany. They have different areas in Germany where they speak different dialects, and this is one of those bands. Not every song is in dialect. There's a couple, but it shows, you know, that every place just had their own new wave scene. This is the one from, I don't know, they're from Hamburg, I think, or München. Munich, they're from Munich. This is the Munich dialect, and yeah, I just love this stuff. This is synthy-based pop, really good. We're getting into a lot more experimental stuff right now. This is Pirolator. He's a member of a band called Der Plan. I'm going to show something by them later on. This is sort of like Eno doing stuff. It's musically, it's just electronic music, and it even says synthesizer, but that's not the title. The title is Inland. And he also made an album, which I also have. It's called Ausland, but that's more like, you know, experimental pop. This is very much like Klaus Schulze, Brian Eno, that kind of stuff. You should think of that. It's minimalistic, but it's great, you know, just electronic new wave. Pirolator was a member of a band called Der Plan, and here they are. Der Plan. This is my favorite album of them. It's called Gary Reich. I love the artwork, and this is a picture of the guys. It's weird. They're sort of like The Residents, but German and more, you know, just awkward sounding. There's effects over voices. There's crazy electronica. There's just so much in this music. And yeah, I'll try to link something. I don't know if it's from this album, but I try to link one of their best songs on here. This is my favorite album, though. I got 4 more. First off, it's one of the crazier packages. Why is it crazy, I hear you ask? It's just a really nice sleeve. It's Lustige Mutante, and the album, yeah, it is an album. It's called Unpop. That is basically what it is. It's music that isn't pop. But the really cool thing is, this is the album. You got the lyric sheet, and on it they stuck a 7-inch. So it's an album on a 7-inch. It's not even 45 it is 45 RPM, I think. I don't know, but it's a really, really great sounding album that sounds like Der Plan and Einstürzende Neubauten at times. Apparently, the guy who sold me this, I bought it at a record fair, He told me that this was really hard to market because it is actually a 7-inch, but it's in a 12-inch sleeve, so no one knew where to put it. Was it the singles department, album department? How to file it away, because it's like just a piece of paper with 7-inch glued on it. I mean, record stores had it really hard, so they didn't sell that much, but I don't think that was the point of this band. They just wanted to make crazy music, and they did. This is Holger Hiller. He was the frontman of Palais Chambord, and first album of them was a little more experimental. Later work, even their last album that they did in English, it's just more mainstream, really good. That's after this guy went. He took that experimental sound with him and created this album. Basically, you have a guy doing drums, a guy doing bass, and someone doing emulator. I don't know what the hell that is. It's some kind of electronic instrument. And then Holger Hiller is singing over it. This is originally released on Atatak, but I have the Cherry Red release, and it has the English title, so I'm just gonna not bother pronouncing the German one, but the title is A Bunch of Foulness in the Pit, and it's just great. He even had a hit single with this, if you believe it. This is like, I'm talking crazy experimental electronica here, right? And he had a hit with Johnny Dulump. That was a big hit in Germany. Or big hit, it was a hit in Germany. Let's just not go crazy. Great album, great album. The album that I've been playing, but has stopped in the meantime, is this album. Again on Klaus Schulze's label, Innovative Communication. It's Dinner Test Build. They have 3 albums like this. This is the first one, Program 1. And as you heard, it's this dark, moody, ambient, electronic, not unlike stuff that Tangerine Dream did, but more post-punky. Great album. You know, just I really want to find the third one. I have only the first 2. So, and the last one is another, I think, Swiss band, Lilliput, originally called Kleenex, but they were sued by the Kleenex company, so they changed their name to Lilliput. They're an English language, I believe, all female fronted band that just played straightforward post-punk, and they were really, really, really good. This is the release on Rough Trade, and the album is called, it's just simply called Lilliput, I believe. Yeah, it's simply called Lilliput. It's from 1982, and anything by these women is worth checking out. I think Kill Rock Stars did a reissue recently, but I might be wrong. Really good music, and that is the end of my German New Wave update collection. I hope you guys liked it, and again I will mention the fact that I will try to put a link down there with some of the videos, and hope you guys will watch it and comment and tell me what you think of it. So that's it. Bye bye.